We all need the basic essentials: food, shelter, clothes. And because we can't live without them, they make for good business. But a lot of people fail at them. Just because you can provide what the world needs doesn't mean you shouldn't make it better, stand out, and try to steal just a little piece of your customer's heart. Everybody will say, you dey chop, you dey wear clothes, go live for house now. And those things they sell well. But chill first. You never see mama put, wey shut down, nobody dey chop for there, because they not do the place well. If you get small business, you go do am well. Where we say go be 10/10, past people wey dey do the same business with you. Welcome to SME Chronicles, business school on TV, where we track the progress of small and medium-scale businesses and help you grow yours. My name is Funmi. Classes start after the break. Since Adam and Eve ate the apple, we've had to wear clothes. Now, wearing clothes isn't just about covering your nakedness. It's more about making a fashion statement. That's what smart business people in fashion understand. Now, you don't just wear clothes because, say, you want cover body. You don't wear clothes because you want to make younger. Yes, not true. Why you think, say, people want dress like Whiskey, people want look like Beyonce or Tiwa Savage? They won't set when they wear clothes. Now make all those sharp people waiting for fashion business. No say, customer, they find clothes. We go make them day wear. Our guest, KemiArowolo, is the creative director of Adura Creations. She's a tailor and much more. Let's meet her. Hello, Kemi.
Hi, Funmi.
You're a tailor.
Yes, I am.
Proudly one, obviously.
Yes, proudly one.
Now, starting off your own business, Adura Creations, becoming a tailor, why did you make that decision?
It wasn't a conscious decision. It was something I stumbled upon, and then I decided to go into it because I found it was lucrative and it was something I had a very, very great flair for. So that was why I decided to go into it.
From school days, you were influenced by your mom, you had a tailor in the family?
My grandmother.
Wow.
Yes, my grandmom she wasn't a tailor commercially, but she makes her own outfits. And so I think I picked up one or two things from there. And
decided to go learn it.
Yes. And so I learned it and decided to use it as a trade to make some money for myself while in school and even outside of school. And that was how I started.
Now, kicking off your business,
yes.
Where did your business start from?
It started from the room.
Your bedroom?
Yes, because then I was just fresh out of the university. I didn't have that much capital to go rent a place and fix it up and all of that. So I used my bedroom, a part of my bedroom, positioned my sewing machine there, and I was working from there.
Who was your first client? Or rather, what was the first customer?
Okay, my first customer, her name is Bosse. She wanted to make a skirt and blouse. I needed to convince her that I could make, outfits. She saw what I was wearing and she didn't believe that I made them. And so I needed to prove to her that I did. And so she gave me some of her fabrics to make skirt and blouse, I can't remember. So I made that for her and it came out nice. So she brought her other friends and then those ones also brought, and then that was how we started.
And Adura Creations started?
Yes.
Now we usually hear of tailors and fashion designers. What's the difference between both?
Okay, a tailor is someone who knows how to cut and sew and use most of the sewing machines that we have. While a fashion designer is someone that can conceive ideas for designs. Person has to have a high level of creativity. Okay, person conceives ideas, conceives in dimension, in proportion, how the shape should be, the colors, the fabric. That's what a designer is. A designer is a creative person, while the tailor is someone who is skilled in how to cut, sew, and use the sewing machines to bring pieces of fabric together to make a garment.
Okay, so creativity meets labor, more like it.
Yes, skill, yes.
Skill.
Yes.
Now, before we started the interview, we had a little chat, and you talked about you taking advantage that there was a strike in the university days.
Yes.
And your dad asking you what did you want to do with your
yes.
supposed free time.
Yes. It was one of the ASU strikes the popular ASU strikes. We didn't know we were going to be home for about 8 to 10 months. So we had been home for like 5 months. And my dad just thought, instead of sitting at home doing nothing and just whiling away time, why not go learn something? And what was trending there was computer appreciation. So I wanted to also plug into that. And then he said, no, I see you carrying needle and thread up and down. Why not go and learn that properly? And so I took his advice. And then I got enrolled at Nike Africana for 3 months. And I learned it. It was, a lot of people complained that it was hard, it was difficult. But for me, it was fun. Because I think it was what I had in me. It was just how to now do it properly, professionally, that I went there to learn. And so out of Niki Africana, going back to school, it was something good that I had learned that I could use to make extra income for myself.
While in school?
While in school, yes. I was able to take my sewing machine to school, not the whole of it, just the head, the black head. So I plug it and
and that was it.
That was it.
And you know, funny enough, nowadays we have this little sewing machines that people can buy and for affordable rates.
Yes, yes.
So school was academics and also
yes, because
work.
we had some free time. So my free time, I used that to make some money for myself.
That's very smart.
Yes.
Now, out of school, you decided to set up your wonderful outfit in one corner of your bedroom.
Yes, yes.
Which is a very smart thing, because most people think that they need to have a lot of money to go open a shop.
No. Even when you have the money, I think you need to start small, really small. Learn how to manage 1, then to 2 clients, 3, 4, 5 as they go. And then you would feel the need to go expand. Get a place, yes. But the moment you get a place, you need to pay rent, you need to pay for electricity and other bills. But it's better you stay within your room, that if you have that space. Because some people will also say to you that, oh, I stay in a 1-room apartment with some other siblings. How am I supposed to juggle this?
Move the machine to the corridor.
Yes, I know someone who did that. Outside. So when she wants to sew, she just put it in front of the room.
Exactly.
When she's done, she takes it back
No
inside.
excuses.
So, you
know, or go under the apple tree in front of your house.
I mean, whichever one works for you. So I think you don't have to, and then for tailoring, I say to people, you don't need so much capital to start. What you need is, if you can get someone to invest in you, get you a sewing machine, and you don't even need someone to get you a pressing iron. You can use the one you normally use in the house. So what you need personally is just that sewing machine. Once you have that and you can get any space, like we said, under the tree or anywhere, you are good to go, because your clients will pay for your materials you're going to use to make the outfit, as well as pay for your labor. And
I'm sure you had a system of, okay, don't worry, I'll come to you, I'll take your measurements.
Of course.
I'll deliver to you.
You don't need to know where I'm sewing from.
Don't worry.
Come and do all the stress. You don't have to do that. And so you don't need a shop, so to speak, to start. No. You can start from your room and then you'll be the marketing, the PR person and everything, delivery, pick up, you will do all of that. And they will think that you are doing them a favor. They wouldn't know that it's just because you don't want them to know where you're working from.
You know, it reminds me of the days when you're going to an interview and then you take the yellow bus, the downfall bus all the way. Then when you're like 3-4 steps away to where you're going to, you come down and you take taxi, 100 naira. And then you'll see you come out of the taxi, everybody will think, wow. Well, now back to business. You kicked off in your room. You start having clients.
Yes.
When did you see that you needed to graduate yourself into becoming a fashion designer?
Okay, I was educated. And I knew that tailoring, it occurred to me at an early stage that tailoring requires skill and not so much of my intelligence. And I felt I had so much intelligence that I can bring into this business. And so I started consulting instead of giving me your fabric, instead of the clients coming and say, okay, this is the style I want you to make for me. And that is it. So I thought, no, I'm a graduate. I can do more than this. I look at the style. And, no, I don't think this style will suit you. I think something, okay, if it's not going to suit me, then give me my own style then. And so that propelled me into sketching. Then I knew how to sketch a bit, but now I had to now really work at it to make it something that can express what I have in mind, such that when I sketch, you can see what it is and you can appreciate it. And so that was how I started. I had to train myself to be a designer. I had to read up a little, go online, okay, what does it take to be a designer? And I realized that most of what I needed was creativity. Expose myself to them, to creativity, check other designers, what they are doing, check their designs, and then I have to also find what inspires me. And that was when I discovered that fabric. I love fabrics, print a lot. And so when I see a fabric, a print, I immediately know what to do with it.
Okay. We clearly know that you know what you're doing. We're going to see what Kemi does, how she combines skill and creativity together. And we're going to take this time out and we'll be back in a moment. KemiArowolo is a creative director and CEO of Ajura Creations, where she works as a director of studies in the training arm of the business, as well as the creative mind behind Ajura Signatures. She is a trained fashion designer, a seamstress, and a graduate of English language from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. Ajura Creations is a fashion academy that provides garment production training for fashion enthusiasts and aspiring fashion designers. It is an organization with a passion to elevate the level of poverty and unemployment in the nation, as well as help creative individuals explore all the creative potentials within them to bring about less dependence on the government for sustainability. As part of our community development service, Ajura Creation provides trainings in tailoring and handcrafts for secondary school girls in government and owned schools. Their intention is to train as many students that have the passion for needlework, dressmaking, and styling. Their vision for this program is to mentor young girls into women of dignity and help them impact in their community, society, and the world at large by providing life solutions through craft trainings, poise, etiquette training, academic empowerment, motivation sessions, health and beauty sessions, spiritual empowerment, and feminine mentoring sessions. You've seen it, being a tailor and being a fashion designer, two different things. And just because you can thread a needle, like me, doesn't make you a tailor. Now, you train.
Yes, I do.
I need to ask you, what made you take that decision to want to train?
Okay, I love to impact knowledge, first and foremost. I love to help people. And when I started making outfits as a tailor, some of my clients would ask me casually, can you train me to do this? And then I will ask them casually also, do you think you have what it takes? And then some of them say, oh, no, honestly, I don't think I can. But out of most of them that make those kind of comments, there were one or two that were really serious about it. And then I took them on. Now I had just a one-room shop. And so when training is going on, that's training that one person, I have to suspend whatever it is that I was doing.
Okay, I was thinking you just divided the room into dimensions.
No, because it wasn't that big. So I had to just start with one person. So it was more like an apprentice kind of thing. So I train her a bit, go back to my work, train her a bit, then she observes what I was doing and all of that. So we're doing that for a while, and then it became two. It was easier training one person, and then it became two. And it was still more like observation. They observe what I'm doing. I talk a bit about it, and that was it. But then I discovered that I love to really teach it properly instead of just look at what I'm doing and then ask questions. And when I think, okay, you need to know this, I tell you about it. And I thought, okay, let me do this on a, not on a professional level, but let me put some time out, maybe like once a week, dedicate once a week to teaching people. And so I had like 3-4 students come around. And so that once a week, I dedicated that. That was how I started. I didn't plan to go into training full time. I just wanted to be able to train those that were really interested. And so that was how I started training 3, 4, 5 people. And at some point, once a week wasn't enough anymore. So we had to make it twice a week. And of course, twice a week means that the tailoring part began to
suffer.
Yes. So I had to get tailors. And those that knew my designs or how I make my outfits started complaining, this is not you. This is a tailor who made this. This is not... And I had to start apologizing. And that was so not me. And so I had to make a decision. What is it really that I want to do? Do I want to train people, or I want to do the tailoring, or is there a way of managing both? So I found a way to manage both. I didn't take more than I could handle in terms of tailoring now.
You don't get long throats like me.
No. Okay. I don't like being put under pressure and start wearing up and down like most tailors do. So I only took what I could undo, and then I had to structure myself. If I have to work till late in the night, I had a sewing machine at home, so sometimes I have to take work home, and then when it's days for training, I faced training. But we've had to, over the years, now expand the training much more than when we started, because we found that more people wanted to get trained, wanted to learn, and I also found that I had to go and retrain myself, because it wasn't now just about teaching them anything. I had to really
teach them the right thing.
Teach them the right thing. I had to know it fully well. There's a difference between knowing how to sew and knowing how to teach someone to sew. So I had to go and learn how to teach people to sew. And so that was, I haven't gained that extra knowledge then. It now became like half of the week for training and half of the week for tailoring. And of course, gradually the training was gaining more ground than the tailoring. Not that I didn't have clients. I still had my clients, but I had more people coming for inquiries who wanted to get trained. And I found out that my passion had shifted from tailoring
to training. What's the challenge of being a fashion designer, a challenge of growing a business from a room into a shop, and then going from tailoring to teaching and fashion? What's the major challenge?
The major challenge for me has been manpower, getting the right people who see where you are going to and are willing to go there with you. Especially tailors. A lot of designers complain about tailors, a lot. Reason is that most of the tailors we have that are available are those that are locally trained. And so for them to understand, they don't really understand that the difference between tailoring and designing is you do what you're supposed to do. Don't interfere with the designs. Do what you're supposed to do and do it well. And then be loyal. So we have most of the tailors, once they find another designer that is willing to pay higher, they jump ship immediately. Because
everybody's looking for a quick buck.
And then also, as a designer, and we have so many designers now that are educated, you know what you want. You want the garments to look exactly like this. The tailors don't understand that. They are counting, okay, by the time I make my 5th garment, I will have made XY amount of money. You are looking at the 5th garment must look exactly as neat as the 1st garment. But they are not thinking like that. So I had a lot of challenge with that. I had to talk to them, help them to see this is why you should do this way. This is why some of them don't understand. They just let me do what I have to do and get out of there. So I had a bit of challenge with that. We had challenge with power, electricity, because again, as a small business...
Don't we all have a problem with electricity?
As a small business, you don't want to charge too high. You want to retain your clients. But then again, you have to consider...
balance the books.
Yes, you need to balance it. You need to still make profit. And so if you're spending so much money on foiling, and that doesn't help your turnover at the end of, your bottom line at the end of the day. So power was a very, very great challenge. And
probably still is.
Yes, it still is. Still is. But I think it's a bit better now, just a little bit better than before. Where we are right now, as about 4 years back, maybe once in a month, that's when we had power. Ouch. Yes, it was that bad. But now, at least we can boast of 5 times a week, not a full day. So that was a big challenge. And
now, there might be young people out there, mostly, if I could look at tailoring, there are young people out there who have a passion for putting things together. Maybe just putting clothes and designs together. Some of them are educated. Some of them are not so educated. Some of them can barely speak.
Yes, some of them cannot read.
So what would you say to that young girl, that young boy? And by the way, we have some very fantastic men that can make clothes.
Yes. We even have better men than women. Because they are more committed somehow.
Somehow, they just get it right.
Somehow, they are more committed.
I think it's the Adam and Eve thing. Let's not go into that. But back to it, we have young people what would you say to that young girl, that young boy who's interested in taking the journey which you have taken, who is being stopped by probably communication skills, cultural differences, or where he or she just lives? What would you say to that person?
Okay, there's always a learning method or style for every individual. We've discovered through our training that students don't learn at the same level. If you cannot speak English, you can still learn.
Now, yeah.
It's a skill. I say sometimes to my educated students that this tailoring is a skill. Bring your education, your intellect, just bring it down a notch.
Just palm.
Exactly. And just understand that this is a skill. You don't force it. Just learn it. The same way you went to school to learn some topics, learn this as a skill. And so why am I saying learn this as a skill? If I bring someone from the village who doesn't know how to speak in English, and I can use signs to just tell the person, watch what I'm doing, and direct the person's feet and hands, this is what you should do. The person will learn. It might take a longer time.
But it's achievable.
Yes, it is. She doesn't need to know how to speak English. We have had quite a number of students like that, interestingly.
I'm sure when that person becomes a fashion designer, you just smile at what everybody says.
Really?
So
Yes.
it's nice. Don't just say it, just smile.
Yes. Initially, it was really frustrating, but then I just realized that they also have equal chances of learning this. You just have to come down to their level. And so it is not a big challenge, as it were. It is not. Why I say to people like that, I cannot speak English fluently or they cannot understand it fluently, I ask them to go to places where their language, if they feel that they must learn where the language is being spoken. You go to places where you have designers, where you have tailors, not even designers, tailors.
First of all,
yes. Go there and learn in your language.
Have you had such students in your place?
Yes, we had a young girl, she's an Hausa girl. She can speak English but not fluently. And so that also affects her comprehension, the way she understands things. Initially, I just thought, how am I going to cope with this one? I don't know how to. Usually we get Yorubas or Igbos, and it's easy to get someone to interpret. But also, I mean, where would I start from? But I discovered something. She was eager to learn. And so I show her, this is what I want you to do. Do it. And let me see you do it. And then she would do that. And now you can't imagine the things she can make now. And when I said to people that this girl, 3 months ago, she didn't know how to sew a line. People say, no, it's not possible. But she's doing so well now. And so those people like that or students like that tell us that we are doing something right and that it's achievable. So no one can come and say, I don't think I can do this. Some people will call and say, do you think I can learn this thing at all? So it depends on you. Well, do you really want to do it?
We like to say that you are doing something right. I would like to thank you for coming on the show, Kemi.
Thank you very much. Yes.
We'll be back after the break. Key indices to grow your small business into a brand. Build structures and procedures. Others should run your business even when you are not physically present. For example, Dangote, Apple, Nokia. These are conglomerates that have successful structures. Build businesses, not transactions. Focus on building loyal clientele rather than just having sales. Deliver on promise. Be consistent, confident, not arrogant. This is Business School on TV. This week, we're reading the book Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. Now, this book carries a message of how to teach small businesses how to endure hard times. Business isn't always rosy. There are the peak periods where things are nice and smooth, but there are also the valley periods where customers seem so far away. What do smart business people do? They prepare. They prepare for the dry times. They prepare how to survive, and they plan so that those times are not so hard. So read the book, Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. Now, I hope you learned something useful today. Did you? Good. If you're a small or medium scale business, or if you're a big business owner and you'd like to be part of the show, reach out to us and we'll return the favor. Till I see you next week. Not take small eye, look what you do. See and say go grow. Big pass as a day so. Believe in what you do. Your small business can become a huge corporation tomorrow. If you believe it, you can achieve it. I'll see you next week.